Hey there, listen up. Imagine a world where trust can be a deadly gamble, where even the best intentions can lead to tragedy. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey back to ancient times, to a story that's been whispered through generations. A tale so gripping it'll make you question the very nature of trust and instinct. This isn't just any story. It's a fable that's echoed through cultures around the globe, a lesson wrapped in mystery and danger. So, settle in, because we're diving into the haunting tale of the scorpion and the frog, a story that will stick with you long after it's over. Let's set the stage. Picture this. Long ago, in a world untouched by modern noise, there was a vast, shimmering river cutting through a wild and untamed land. Its waters stretched wide, maybe 100 meters across at its broadest point, flowing with a quiet but powerful current. The riverbanks were alive with the hum of insects, the rustle of leaves, and the distant calls of creatures hidden in the brush. Near one of these banks, nestled in a small, shadowy burrow, lived a scorpion. Now scorpions are creatures of the dark by nature, thriving in hidden corners where light barely reaches. But this particular scorpion? He wasn't content. His home felt like a prison, too dim, too damp, too depressing. Every day, as he curled up in his burrow, a heavy sadness weighed on him. He knew he couldn't stay there any longer. He needed a change, a new place to call home, somewhere brighter, somewhere better. So, with determination in his tiny heart, the scorpion scuttled out of his gloomy hideout and began to explore the riverside. He searched high and low, skittering over rocks, weaving through tall grasses that stood nearly a meter high, and poking into every crevice he could find. Hours turned into days, and still he found nothing. The riverbank, though full of life, offered no shelter that felt right for him. But then, as he gazed across the wide expanse of water, a thought struck him. What if the perfect home was on the other side of the river? The far bank, with its distant promise of new beginnings, seemed to call to him. He could almost picture it. A dry, sunny spot with just the right amount of shade, maybe a cozy nook under a stone only a few centimeters wide. It was everything he dreamed of. There was just one problem. Scorpions can't swim, not even a little. The river, with its relentless flow, was an impossible barrier. How could he ever cross it? Just as despair began to creep into his mind, something miraculous happened. As if the river itself had heard his silent plea, a large frog emerged from the water, gliding smoothly up to the bank. This wasn't just any frog. He was a big one, with powerful legs and a body that looked strong enough to carry weight across the current. His skin glistened under the sunlight, a deep green that blended with the river's edge. The scorpion's mind raced. This was his chance. If he could convince the frog to help him, he could finally reach the other side. With a plan forming, he skittered closer to the water's edge, and called out to the frog in the politest tone he could muster. "Hey there, friend. I've got a small favor to ask. I need to get to the other side of this river, but I can't swim. Would you be kind enough to carry me across on your back?" The frog, however, wasn't so quick to agree. He eyed the scorpion with suspicion, and who could blame him? Scorpions are known far and wide in the animal kingdom for their deadly stingers. One strike, and their venom could stop a heart in moments. The frog's instinct screamed caution. He hopped back a few centimeters, keeping a safe distance, and replied, "Why on earth would I help you? I know you're kind. If I let you on my back, you'll sting me the first chance you get. I'd be a fool to trust a scorpion." But the scorpion was ready for this. He raised his pincers in a gesture of peace, and spoke with a calm, reassuring voice. "I understand your fear, and I don't blame you for doubting me, but think about this. I'm not a fool either. If I were to sting you while we're crossing the river, we'd both sink. I'd drown right along with you. I have no wish to die today. You have my word, my solemn promise, that I won't harm you. I just want to reach the other side. That's all." The frog listened carefully, his wide eyes narrowing as he mulled over the scorpion's words. He didn't trust the arachnid, not one bit. But he couldn't deny the logic. If the scorpion stung him in the middle of the river, they'd both be doomed. There was no way the scorpion could survive the water on his own. Reluctantly, the frog let out a long sigh. "Fine," he croaked. "I'll take you across, but I'm warning you. If I feel even a hint of danger, I'll dive under and leave you to fend for yourself. Climb on and let's get this over with." The scorpion, thrilled by the frog's agreement, carefully climbed onto the amphibian's slick, broad back. His tiny legs gripped tightly, though he felt a shiver of fear as the frog hopped into the water. You see, while scorpions are fierce hunters on land, with few enemies to challenge them, water was their greatest weakness. The river terrified him. Every ripple, every splash, made his heart race. He clung to the frog with all his might, praying he wouldn't slip off into the depths. The frog, meanwhile, swam with steady, powerful strokes, cutting through the current with ease. At first, everything went surprisingly well. They moved farther and farther from the starting shore, covering maybe 50 meters in just a few minutes. The scorpion kept his promise. His deadly tail curled safely away from the frog's skin, and despite his terror of the water, he managed to hold on tight. They were about halfway across the river, with another 50 meters or so to go, when something changed. The scorpion felt a strange, powerful urge rising inside him. It wasn't something he could control, or even fully understand. It was instinct, raw and primal, swelling up from deep within. His tail began to twitch, almost as if it had a mind of its own. He fought against it, telling himself to stay calm, to remember his promise. But the feeling grew stronger, overwhelming him. It was as if his very nature was taking over, pushing aside all reason. Suddenly, without warning, his tail lashed out. The sharp sting pierced the frog's back, injecting a deadly dose of venom into the unsuspecting amphibian. The frog let out a gasp of pain as a searing agony shot through him. Almost instantly, a wave of numbness followed, spreading from the wound to every part of his body. His legs faltered, his strokes weakened, and he began to sink beneath the water's surface. With his last struggling breaths, he turned his head to the scorpion and cried out, "You fool! Why'd you do this? You gave me your word. You promised you wouldn't sting me. Now we're both going to die." The scorpion, still clinging to the frog's back, felt the weight of his actions crash over him. His voice was heavy with regret as he replied, "Forgive me, my friend. I didn't do this out of spite or malice. I couldn't help it. It's just my nature." Those were the last words spoken between them. Within moments, the frog succumbed to the venom, his body going limp. The river claimed them both, pulling the frog's lifeless form and the scorpion still aboard, down into its dark, silent depth. Now, you might be wondering what this story means. Unlike many fables, the tale of the scorpion and the frog doesn't come with a neatly packaged moral at the end. There's no clear lesson spelled out for us, which is part of what makes it so unique and thought-provoking. Over the years, people have interpreted this story in many ways, pulling different meanings from its tragic ending. One modern take on it sees the story as a double warning, a cautionary tale for two kinds of people in this world, the scorpions and the frogs. To the scorpions out there, those who struggle with their inner demons or destructive tendencies, this story is a reminder that while you might not always be able to control the instincts or urges that bubble up inside you, you do have power over your actions. You can choose to fight against those base impulses, to think before you act. Giving in without thought can hurt others, yes, but it can also destroy you. The scorpion in this story lost everything because he couldn't resist his nature. He paid the ultimate price for acting on impulse, sinking into the river alongside the frog he betrayed. So, take a moment to pause, to reflect, before letting your darker side take the wheel. It might just save your life, and the lives of those around you. And to the frogs of the world, Those who are kind-hearted, trusting, or maybe just a little too willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. This story serves as a stark warning. Be careful who you put your faith in. Not everyone can overcome their inner nature, even when it goes against their own best interests. There will always be people, or creatures in this case, who act in ways that harm others, not because they want to, but because they can't help themselves. The frog wanted to believe in the scorpion's promise. He wanted to see the good, to trust in the logic of their shared survival. But in the end, that trust cost him everything. So while it's wonderful to be kind and open-hearted, remember to protect yourself. Not everyone is worthy of the trust you give so freely. This timeless story, passed down through countless generations, isn't just a fable about animals. It's a mirror held up to our own lives, reflecting the struggles we face every day. How often do we wrestle with our own instincts, fighting to do the right thing even when it's hard? How often do we place our trust in someone, hoping they'll prove us right, only to be let down? The river in this tale is more than just water. It's a metaphor for the challenges we navigate, the risks we take when we step into the unknown. The scorpion and the frog remind us that life isn't always simple. Sometimes, the choices we make, or the people we choose to trust, lead us into deep waters where survival isn't guaranteed. Let's think about the scorpion for a moment longer. He wasn't evil, not in the way we might think of a villain. He didn't set out to harm the frog with a wicked plan in mind. He genuinely wanted to cross the river, to find a better life on the other side. He made a promise, and for a while, he kept it. But in the end, something inside him, something he couldn't control, took over. How many times have we seen this in our own world? People who mean well, who start with good intentions, but fall back into old habits or destructive patterns. Maybe it's a friend who promises to change, but keeps making the same mistakes. Maybe it's even ourselves, struggling to break free from behaviors we know aren't good for us. The scorpion's story is a tragic one, but it's also a call to self-awareness, a reminder to keep fighting against the parts of ourselves that might lead us, and others, down a dangerous path. He didn't have to greedily tarry the scorpion. He could have swam away, left the arachnid to figure out his own way across the river. But he chose to help, even though every instinct told him it was risky. There's something beautiful in that, isn't there? A willingness to believe in someone, to give them a chance, even when the odds are against you. But the frog story also teaches us the importance of boundaries. Kindness is a gift, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your own safety. In a world full of scorpions, we frogs need to learn when to say no, when to protect ourselves from those who might not be able to resist their own harmful nature. As we wrap up this tale, let's linger on the image of that river one last time. It's wide and deep, stretching across the landscape like a dividing line between safety and danger, between old lives and new beginnings. The scorpion and the frog set out to cross it together, bound by a fragile trust that couldn't withstand the pull of instinct. Their story ended in tragedy, sinking beneath the waves, lost to the current. But their lesson lives on, carried through time by storytellers like me, shared with listeners like you. So, the next time you find yourself at the edge of a river, whether it's a real one or just a tough decision in your life, think of the scorpion and the frog. Ask yourself, are you acting on instinct or on thought? Are you trusting someone who might not be able to help themselves? The answers might just keep you afloat,